Today's subject, slavery. No, I'm just kidding. Today we're going to be talking about Dreamybull. No, at first I thought Dreamybull memes were funny. They were funny. He's kind of a goofy guy. He is he's entertaining. I definitely see where his niche is in terms of the content he makes, but this stuff is just out of hand. The whole Dreamybull thing is out of hand. No, I didn't realize how out of hand it was until I saw this reel. And I'll put it up here if I can find it. But it was basically like 6 or 7 Dreamy Bull memes back to back to back. And it's just in this feed, this guy's feed. Just another editor's note while I was trying to find the reel that I was talking about. I found it and then I scrolled down and I found 2 subsequent reels containing Dreamy Bull. I don't think I need to say more of just how much this man is getting memed.
Car gets red shelled twice. With Goomba reaction. Sam. Oh my god. Car gets red.
It's like I sat there and I thought about it. I'm like, it's a little much. This is a little much. This whole thing it's a lot. And so I started looking at it more. I started thinking about it more, and I'm like, there are a lot of memes. And so I looked into it. There's a documentary that was done by Dreamy Bull Weekly News, which I guess that goes, shows for anything how much this guy is getting attention. There was a whole channel named after him. I don't know if the channel's still up. I couldn't seem to find it. I'll see if I can find it. But the documentary was a re-upload, so I can only assume what happened to the channel. I can only assume what happened. Regardless, after watching the documentary, this whole thing's excessive, man. It really is. You know, in the video they talk about the number of views his hashtag has for Dreamybull. And keep in mind, this is just the hashtag views of the meme. And it was something like, whenever he made the video, it was something like almost close to 1 billion. So I can only assume what that uh, tag looks like now. Almost a month later. I'll throw it up on the screen if I can find it. But it's just like, okay, this guy's got billions of views, which is fine, I guess. I mean, plenty of memes go super viral, but it's just like, I guess for the type of memes it was like, it's like, I mean, I weren't voicing like a funny laugh or a goofy reaction or anything like that. I mean, his reactions are kind of goofy, but it's like, they're adult material, and it's like, that shouldn't be getting popular as it is, especially with a lot of videos not being necessarily, they're censored, but it's like, come on, when you see that flash of white going across the screen, it's like, that ain't censored. And it's just like, if it was just that, I would just be like, well, that was a little too entertaining. But no, because I guess this guy, who is not the sharpest tool in the shed, we'll say, posted a video or posted a tweet with mugshots from his previous arrest. And why that wasn't a bright move is because then people were able to reverse image search those photos, find out his name, and find out basically all of his information, and ended up doxing him. Which is just like, well, then, one could argue you kind of did it to yourself, but what they did with this information, they teased him. Not teased, they harassed him. They harassed him. They harassed him. They harassed his wife. They harassed his family. They sent clip after clip, video after video, comment after comment about his endeavors to these people all around him. I mean, they got his wife's salon closed, bombing it into the ground with bad reviews. I mean, that's like, that's excessive. I mean, when you look at what the guy really did, regardless of how you feel, nothing wrong with being a gay adult film star. But to be fair, this guy did have a extensive criminal past, and he did film a video of himself masturbating in a public space. So I guess you can consider them negative things. There might be things about his personality that you just don't like, but overall, I wouldn't say this guy's a bad guy. He's certainly no Mr. Rogers, but for the level of just the level that people are going through, that's what's really ridiculous about this. That's what I find ridiculous. People went out of their way to pose as potential trainees. I guess he's got a fitness trainer gig going. And they went out of their way to pose as potential trainees just to inquire and mock him further. And it's like that is so unnecessary. It's so ridiculous. This guy really didn't do anything to anyone, and people are just going ham. I mean, the only reason he got doxxed is because people went above and beyond. He was already getting memed into oblivion before, but this was a lot. This was a whole heck of a lot. And for what? I'm sure to a lot of people, the guy's just kind of funny. I'm not going to be there and be like, some of his reactions are funny. But it's not that funny. People need to learn how to settle down. I mean, not only did they just harass this guy, but they went and harassed other people with this guy. I mean, everyone's familiar with the bait and switch video on YouTube, That's nothing new. Plenty of people were doing that on Discord or whatever. What really got to me is people were using his content to Zoom bomb people, to put that stuff in a public Zoom call, for churches, schools, even courts. It's like, no. It's one thing just to put up like a scary image, but it's like when you put adult content out there, ideally it should be in spaces where people, if they go there, they're going to know, okay, this is where this is at. This place is known for it, right? Most people who are sitting in a courtroom or at church aren't going to be sitting there being like, oh, I hope this comes along. No. And especially when you get in some of these spaces, you run the risk of showing this to children, which that is wrong. They shouldn't be seeing that. No one should be really seeing it without knowingly walking into it. It's one thing to send it to your friends and just be like, haha, I got you. It's another thing to like go into like these very public spaces where these people are just trying to go about their lives and you just do this. I get it. Not everyone will become a meme. Not everything you say and do on the internet will be captured and put online for everyone to mock. I understand that completely. I truly do. But it doesn't excuse the fact that just because it'll probably not happen to you doesn't mean you should do it to someone else. I mean, look at this guy's life. Guy barely scraping by. He can't really hold a job, partially because of his past, and now because of this. It's like it's hard for him to even make the content that got him to this, got him to this status in the first place. And it's like, this is the culture that we're fostering. This is our legacy. I understand there's a lot of things that happen on the internet most people don't realize, but this isn't the only case of things like this happening. Look at Chris Chan and the trolls who mocked him mercilessly, got him to send nudes and all sorts of terrible things. Amanda Todd, who even after her suicide, people still mocked her. People still made fun of her. And that's what's messed up about this whole thing. That's what's so messed up. Is this isn't the only example of people doing this kind of stuff. And that's what makes me mad. These people were doing it because it was funny, because it was entertaining. This guy didn't do anything. He may have done things to himself. Well, he certainly did things to himself. It's kind of funny. But he didn't really do anything to anyone. Definitely not anything to warrant this type of mess. There are people who do stuff online who get hounded down because they're demented, they're sick individuals. Like the guy from the Don't Mess with Cats documentary who went out of his way to torture those poor animals. He deserved to get hunted down. All right. I'm not going to say the online mob doesn't occasionally get things right, but I am saying that it is a very dangerous thing. It can be a tool for good, but there is a lot of times people will use this and it's just bad. The whole point of me making this video is to point out, to bring to your attention that this is the culture you exist in. This is the culture that we as a collective foster. You may not think you're doing that much by reposting one of Dreamy's famous lines or memeing about it, but it's like ultimately this is what we've created. Guys will never be able to live that down. His family will never be able to live that down. All because of a joke. It's kind of like Pokemon. There's a time and place for everything. This isn't it. This is past its expiration date. It's time to calm down. This has been Arctic. Have a good night.